everybody, and welcome back to the book vlog of my YouTube channel. I'm obviously thinking about writing the rest of the Benaghar series, so I have written The Rat, the Wolf and the King's Fall, and then the second book in the series is The Last Sigilor, and I'm thinking I probably need to do another 4 books in the series to complete it. But am I going to be able to read during this process? Probably not. I didn't do a lot of reading the last time I wrote the first 2 books. So I finished my Goodreads challenge 2024 and I read 40 books. I didn't plan to read 40 books in my 40th year, but that's how it's panned out. And I just made it in time to complete it just before Christmas. I did cheat a little bit by reading a very short story, which I shall find what I actually read. I was also looking at whether I should continue with Goodreads, but I've read a few reviews from other YouTubers about the other options available, and to be honest, they're just not for me, and I don't need to complicate my life whilst I am in the writing process. The shortest book I read was P.D. James' The Victim, and it really was a short book, really good. Who doesn't love P.D. James? And yeah, I'll put up a little screenshot of all the books that I actually read in 2024. I reckon the worst book I read was not necessarily because of the writing style, but because the characters irritated me so much. And that would have to be Iron Flame, and by Rebecca Yarros. I think we all know who she is. Mainly because I hadn't read the Sarah Jane Maas series until last year. I hadn't started reading it, I haven't completed it. A Court of Thorn and Roses. And I'd read the first book in Rebecca Yarros's series, and after I read the second, was it the second Iron Flame? Or no, I think I maybe read A Court of Thorn and Roses after the second book and after Iron Flame, and I was getting angry during A Court of Thorns and Roses because I just realised what a rip-off the characters in, is it the Imperium series? Yeah, the 2 main characters. It's just a massive rip-off of A Court of Thorns and Roses. So I'm just texting all my book friends going, what is going on? You know, to me, can't quite understand why there isn't a plagiarism thing going on here, but never mind. I still like the way that Yarros writes. I just find the 2 characters are way more immature, and they're supposed to be immature because they are of that age. They're at like late teens, early 20s age, and if you are that age watching this, when you get to my age, you'll realise how immature you are at that age, and you'll look back on and just see how like the world of difference it makes, like even a couple of years or a decade later, and you were not that experienced at that age, so it's just not very realistic, and there's quite a few plot holes. So that was my worst rated book, just because the characters annoyed me so much. And then my favourite book, probably Trespassers by Louise Kennedy, set in Northern Ireland. It is a love story during the Troubles, and it's very heartbreaking, but it's done so well, it's written so well. And I say that about all books I love, oh, it's written so well, but it really is, so I highly recommend it. So if you want a recommendation for 2025, please try Trespassers by Louise Kennedy. It's a fabulous book. And then, yeah, there were loads of good books that I'd read out of the 40. Yeah, check it out. And if you want to follow me, I'm on Goodreads, link is down below. And for this year, if I'm going to be writing, I honestly don't know how long it's going to take me to draft the rest of the Benaghar series, because the first book, the draft of it, took me 4 to 5 months, and then the second book, because I'd already had this book in my head, The Last Sigilor, before the first book was written. So this was basically going to be the first book, and I thought it's not going to make any sense without a bit more of a backstory, hence why The Rat, the Wolf and the King's Fall was written. So yeah, that was about 4 to 5 months, and then this one, The Last Sigilor, took me 2 months to draft, so it was very rapid. But if I've got 3 or 4 books to write to finish the series, yeah, that is going to take a lot longer. Just realised that I haven't even put this on, this little mic. Yeah, where was I? Right, so because my writing process requires me to reread the books that I've already written, because most of the story is in my head, or some of it is in here, and then I'll go through my notes that I've already got as well. Bo's sniffing my, look, it's a little Korean sweet. Yeah, the first, so when I do my Goodreads challenge this year, I think I'm going to go for a very, very conservative estimate and do 24. Mainly because, you know, I'm going to cheat obviously, and I have to read these 2 first again and make loads of notes and scribble in them. I know, sacrilege. But I have to be realistic because, again, I work full time. I'm doing a half marathon training plan, and we are doing home decor, renovations. So there's all this going on in the background, as well as Jamie and I also having a life. Right, Kat? That's the, you okay, Bo? Yeah, I'm afraid you're not going to like these sweets. You might come and sit down. Yeah, so I think I'm going to go for 24. If I do more, great, and if I don't, it's just tough. I have to make sure that the Benaghar series takes priority, so that's what I'll be doing first. I've not actually started my 2025 challenge. I just need to go on to the Goodreads app. My reading challenge 2025, set my goal, and I'm going to do 24. Yeah, we'll see if that changes. So as much as I'd love to do 41 books in my 41st year, that's not going to happen. So far, these are the books that are on my reading list. Well, they're on my shelf. I haven't put all of them in yet, but I've got Want by Gillian Anderson, Before Your Memory Fades, Percival Everett James, such a beautiful cover, Poor Mary the Bee Sting. I've obviously got my 2 books, The Last Sigilor and The Rat, the Wolf and the King's Fall, The Great Defiance, Beyond the War, Weird Fiction, which is an anthology, Babel, which has been on my bookshelf for ages and I haven't read it yet, and then The Count in Monte Cristo, which is my favourite book and I've read before. This was a special edition, a cloth bound edition that Jamie got me for a Christmas present a couple of years ago, and I'd quite like to read that again this year. I also got some new books today and bought myself The Good Soldier by Ford Madox Ford. His Parade's End book is brilliant, and there's a really good adaptation of that on the BBC. So I've not read any of his other works, I thought I'd buy that. I've got that one for, what does it say? £3.50, so that was a good book bargain. Also got North and South by Elizabeth Gaskell, which again, there's a really good adaptation with Richard Armitage in that on, I think it's the BBC. And I got that one for £4.99. So I went for some classics today, and Anne Zorodi, which I've never heard of, and this is The Mysteries of the Greek Detective, The Doctor of Thessaly. And you can just see she's got some other books in the series there. I got that one for £1. It's quite a big book actually, quite a big book. Yeah, it looks interesting. So yeah, another one for me to read that hopefully will not tax my brain too much, so looking forward to that. I love a good detective series, so I need to add those to my library list in my to be read digital reading journal. So I'll do a mix between using Goodreads to list what I'm reading currently, and then, you know, use my actual to be read digital reading planner to just track my reading habits. And I was thinking I should probably do one for writing. That might be good for authors or wannabe authors who would like to track their reading progress alongside their writing progress, and or just have a digital planner just for writing to keep track of what you're doing to write your first, second, third, fourth book or series. So when I get time this year, I'll have a look at that as well. So that is my goal for 2025. And then what I thought I would do is, because my writing process is, it might seem odd to some people how I do it, that I go back and reread the books that I've already published in the series. But maybe my method of writing actually might help you if you're looking to write for the first time, or you've struggled in the past and you want something that is not so structured, because mine is not overly structured, my writing process, because if it's too scheduled, then it ruins the creative process for me. It gets to a point where I just need to get it down on paper, and no matter the planning, it always changes in the writing process. So if that's something you would like to see, if you would like some tips on how to write your first book, let me know. I'll put a video up and talk you through my writing process, and also how, if you have a busy schedule like myself, how you actually find the time to write your book and how you get into the zone to do that. So yeah, that is what I will be doing over the coming weeks, and I will let you know what my process is. Let me know what your Goodreads challenge is for this year. What book are you going to start with? Are you hoping to add any more to it as well? I know there's loads I want to read this year, but I'm just going to have to suck it up and let it go for a bit this year, because once these are written, once the rest of the series is written, then I'll have all the time in the world to read, whilst my team of readers and beta readers help me iron out the story. And then I can, then I'll get into the editing process, which is a whole nother game. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below. Do like, subscribe, and if you want any writing tips or publishing tips, editing tips, yeah, leave a comment and I shall see what I can do to help you.